Welcome to Darktopia, where shadows whisper and nightmares come to life. Tonight, we bring you a tale of horror that will send chills down your spine. Are you ready to step into the darkness? Let the terror begin. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the cobblestone streets of Old Town. A group of tourists gathered outside the crumbling facade of an ancient building, excitement and trepidation coursing through their veins. They'd signed up for a ghost tour, eager to explore the haunted history of this old city, with its tales of restless spirits and dark secrets. Among them were Rachel, a history enthusiast, her boyfriend Mark, a skeptic, and a few others, drawn by the allure of the supernatural. As the clock struck 8, a tall figure emerged from the shadows, clad in a tattered cloak and a wide-brimmed hat that obscured their face. "Welcome, brave souls," the guide intoned, their voice deep and resonant. "I am your guide for this evening, and I will lead you through the darkest corners of Old Town, where the past lingers like a ghost waiting to be discovered." The tourists exchanged glances, a mix of anticipation and unease in the air. The guide led them down narrow alleys, their footsteps echoing against the ancient stone walls. They paused at the first stop, an old tavern known for its spectral patrons. "Many have reported seeing a figure dressed in period clothing," the guide explained, gesturing to the building's weathered sign. "Some say he was a wronged lover, eternally seeking his beloved." As the guide recounted the tragic tale, Rachel felt a chill creep up her spine. The air was thick with tension, and she could almost feel the presence of the ghostly lover hovering nearby. Mark rolled his eyes, but even he couldn't deny the palpable energy of the place. They moved on, visiting the crumbling remains of a church, where it was said that a priest had been buried alive for his heretical beliefs. "They say he wanders these grounds, his spirit restless, forever bound to the place of his demise," the guide said, their voice dropping to a whisper. The group huddled together, fear mingling with fascination. As they continued, the guide shared more chilling stories, each one darker than the last. Rachel was captivated, hanging on every word, while Mark's skepticism began to waver. The stories felt too vivid, too real. Then they arrived at the old cemetery, where shadows danced under the flickering light of lanterns. "This is where we will truly connect with the spirits," the guide declared. "Tonight, you may witness the unexplainable." Rachel's heart raced with both fear and excitement as they entered the graveyard. The guide led them to a particularly old tombstone, worn and moss-covered. "This tomb belongs to a woman named Elisa. Legend says she was betrayed by her husband and died of a broken heart. If you listen closely, you may hear her cries for justice." As the group stood in silence, the wind rustled through the trees, creating a haunting melody that sent shivers down their spines. Suddenly, a chilling wail echoed through the cemetery, cutting through the stillness like a knife. The group gasped, instinctively stepping closer together. "What was that?" one of the tourists whispered, panic rising in her voice. The guide smiled cryptically. "Eliza's spirit is strong tonight. She seeks justice, and you have come at a most opportune time." Mark's skepticism crumbled as he glanced around, unnerved. Rachel felt a mix of fear and intrigue, drawn deeper into the night's unfolding mystery. "Is this part of the tour?" she asked, looking at the guide, who remained eerily calm. "Sometimes, the line between the living and the dead blurs, especially in a place as old as this," the guide replied, their voice barely a whisper. As the tours progressed, the atmosphere thickened, and the stories became increasingly disturbing. The guide revealed that many visitors had gone missing over the years, their fates intertwined with the spirits they sought to uncover. It is said that those who disturb the spirits will find themselves part of their story, the guide warned, eyes glinting in the darkness. Rachel's heart raced. Are you saying that some of us could disappear? She asked, her voice trembling. The guide paused, a chilling smile spreading across their face. Only if you are unprepared for the truth, they replied enigmatically. The group ventured deeper into the heart of the cemetery, surrounded by centuries-old tombstones that loomed like sentinels. As the guide recounted more stories, Rachel felt an unsettling presence. She glanced at Mark, who was visibly shaken, his bravado fading. Let's go back, he said suddenly, his voice shaking. This isn't right. But before they could turn, the guide raised a hand, silencing them. It is too late to leave now, they declared. You have entered the realm of the lost, and once you cross this threshold, there's no turning back. Panic surged through the group. The air grew heavy, and the temperature dropped sharply. Shadows danced ominously around them, as if the very night was alive with spirits. Suddenly, the wailing began again, echoing off the stone walls, more desperate and haunting than before. Rachel's breath quickened as she turned to the guide, but to her horror, they had transformed. Their cloak billowed around them, revealing an otherworldly figure, their eyes glowing like embers in the dark. You wish to hear the stories of the dead? The figure said, voice echoing like a chorus of lost souls. Now you will become part of them. Screams erupted from the group as they scrambled to escape. But the cemetery's entrance had vanished, replaced by a labyrinth of tombstones. The guide laughed, a chilling sound that reverberated through the air. You wanted to know the truth, and now you must pay the price. Rachel felt a cold hand grasp her wrist, and she turned to see the pale, spectral face of Eliza, her eyes filled with sorrow and rage. You will not leave until my story is told, Eliza whispered, her voice a haunting melody that pierced through the chaos. Desperation surged through Rachel as she fought against the grasp of the spirits surrounding her. What do you want? She cried out, tears streaming down her face. Justice, Eliza replied, her voice a wisp of wind. I was betrayed, and my story has been forgotten. You must remember me. With that, the spirits swirled around them, the night closing in. The rest of the group vanished into the shadows, their screams swallowed by the darkness. Only Rachel remained, trapped in a whirlwind of spectral voices, all yearning for recognition. Summoning her courage, Rachel shouted, I will tell your story, I promise. The spirits hesitated, and the grip around her loosened. Eliza's face softened, and a glimmer of hope shone in her eyes. Then remember me, Eliza whispered, fading into the mist. Suddenly, the landscape shifted, and the tombstones began to dissolve, replaced by the cobblestone streets of Old Town. Rachel found herself standing alone, the night eerily quiet. The moon bathed the scene in silver light, but the fear lingered in the air. She stumbled back to the meeting point, heart racing. The tour group was nowhere to be seen. Had they been swallowed by the spirits, or were they lost forever in the stories of Old Town? Days later, Rachel returned to Old Town, determined to uncover the truth and honor the spirits' stories. She spoke with locals, piecing together the fragmented tales of betrayal and loss. As she shared her experience, the townsfolk listened intently, their eyes widening with recognition. The spirits are restless, an elderly woman said, her voice trembling. They seek justice, and only through remembrance can they find peace. Rachel realized she had become a part of the haunting legacy of Old Town. She vowed to tell the stories of the lost souls, to ensure they were never forgotten again. As she spoke, she felt the presence of the spirits around her, guiding her words. With each tale she shared, the darkness lifted just a little, and the echoes of the past grew quieter. In the end, Rachel knew that she had found her purpose, bringing the stories of the forgotten to light. giving voice to the spirits that once haunted the streets of Old Town. You've made it through the darkness, for now. But remember, the shadows are always watching. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next story that haunts the night. Until next time, sleep, if you can.